land service document.
How would existing businesses fit into this?
Existing businesses would be non-conforming uses, and they're called legal non-conforming. You're basically grandfathered. The term comes from, because you're legal, you're fine to operate as you always have been. The only limitations that apply to you is if you want to expand, you have to, because if you're talking about building, the building would have to meet the use area if you're expanding beyond a certain percentage. Or if you're a use, you're allowed to continue to use that property for as long as you're open that property, and it runs with the land. So if, let's say it was an auto shop, and it was your auto shop, and you sold it to me, and I would be allowed to continue to run it as an auto shop. The only caveats are if you abandon it, if the use goes away, if no one's used it in 6 months, and I wanted to come in and do an auto shop, then I wouldn't be allowed to because it's been vacant for too long.
Could you get a specific use permit for it?
Go back to the specific use. That's one of the things we can. That's a great comment, because what we can do is we can put that in there as a specific use for an auto use. What type of use did you have in mind?
I don't. There's people I know that have existing businesses.
Yeah.
It's not going to specifically fit into your program. And my worries and concerns are what happens in the future for them when they decide to sell the property, or
All existing uses will be allowed to continue. Like I said, the only things that really limit you once you become a non-conforming use, or if you want to expand, if the business was destroyed more than 51% by a tornado or a fire or things of that nature, it would not be allowed to be rebuilt. You have to. There's a process you can't go through to the city through Board of Adjustment to try to get that.
you could rebuild, but you'd have to go through the city.
Possibly. I know that it's not a clear answer. Our auto use, let's say it's torn down by a tornado. No, I'm not allowed to build it again, just as it was. Because, and the reason for that is it's not fair to anyone else who wants to put an auto use there, because it's treated as new construction. Because it was existing, but now it's not existing anymore. So it's new construction to rebuild the whole thing past over 51%. So you got to treat everybody. The same when it comes to the zoning ordinance, because we don't want to give any preferential treatment to anybody. But there is a process, and I'd have to look back in the zoning ordinance to see exactly how the city handles it to allow for type. Okay, all right, to allow for types of waivers.
For acts of God, you do.
So, but it is a process you would have to go to the city and ask them, because it's a use that's not allowed, and since it's more than 51%, it's considered new construction, not something else.
The ordinance just says it's more than it's got to come up and go, whatever.
I just figured maybe an act of God would be allowed.
It's not worth it.
When it's something out of your control, it's not like you tore the building down just because you wanted to do something else with it. I mean, you have any, you tear it, it didn't get knocked down because you wanted it to. It was something that was out of your control. And now that it's happened, this is your livelihood. You can't go back and rebuild it and continue. That's
Yeah,
not
I'm saying
right.
you can, but you got to comply with the code up there.
Yeah, you have to.
You can keep using your same business, you still got to be in the code.
You're going to architectural look at it, the look of the building and everything, it was like a metal building before, then you got to come back and put silver rock or do your architectural foundation.
I just want to make sure that it wasn't that it couldn't be used for that type of business.
Oh, it's still legal business, it's still go on.